What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to JJD TV. I was getting a little impatient, so I figured I would just go live right now and chat with you guys until it's released, because typical Canada will say that they're going to have their press conference at 11, so we're expecting this to be released at 11 pretty much on the dot. Maybe if we're lucky, 10:59. So until it is released, why don't we just hypothesize, I guess, and go over some players that we're expecting to see, and eventually when they announce it, because it's going to be announced any minute now, within the next, I'd assume, at least 15 minutes. I'd like to hope from Canada. I'm gonna refresh my my screen as much as possible. Let me know if you guys see it before I do, but we'll go into the chat and just see how you guys are doing today, and seeing if you guys are excited to see the roster come out today. Any names that you're expecting to come on here. Obviously, Ugbo's the newest one. We know of him from yesterday, but we'll go into the chat right now. If you guys are excited, be sure to drop a like on the stream. Say hello as well. And we'll do the first comment of the day, which goes to Brady C. It says, Jebsen call up to the England U19 might make it harder for him to commit for a while England strings him along. You are not wrong. I would have been, when the rumors were going around of who exactly was going to who exactly was going to actually be that unknown name. I really didn't think it was going to be Jebsen, because I just feel like he's gonna see his opportunity with England as is, and eventually he's gonna make a decision. I think it's a little bit too early for him to make that decision right yet, but I personally would have been surprised, but yeah, I'd expect him for the meantime to just continually be playing along with England, and hopefully one day Canada will convince him, because he's a player I would like to see in the ranks. But for the time being, we found another striker. That's who I'm expecting to kind of come in right now. But I'll bring up the Canadian men's national team players, and I'll just kind of go over them and some of the players in the meantime of who I'm expecting to see versus not expecting to see. I'm expecting probably a 25-man roster. That would be my guess. Lucky Podcast Network says Enon is who they're expecting. Yash says Jebsen should play for you guys unless he's a world-class generational talent. He will never get picked. So this is coming from someone from England as well, which I find is obviously very interesting. And Yash, and I think everyone would agree. I think it would be, unless he takes massive strides, I would be very surprised if he did indeed play for England one day. I'm assuming down the line Jebsen will represent us. I don't think there's a massive rush to get him in the door. It's obviously nice cap tying him, but for the time being, I'm assuming he's just going to get minutes playing with the England U21s, U19s, or U21s, wherever he's playing right now. What did Brady say? U19 team. He'll probably get some minutes in the U21s as well. Sir Duck is here. Says, sup? How you doing this morning? I'm doing good. I'm doing excited, man. I'm doing excited. I want to see the roster get announced. I was hoping that it would have come out by now, but clearly, they're just toying with us for the time being. But it should be dropped definitely before 11, so we have some time here to chat about it. Stefan's coming and says, morning, brah, it's selection day. It is. I'm just going to go over very quickly, just read it out loud, who I'm expecting to see. For keepers, Borjan, Crépeau, and Pantomis, those are my three. Defenders, Henry, Vittoria, Atakubi, Larea, Johnston, Miller, Cornelius, maybe ZBG, Hutch, Piet, Osorio, Kay, Eustachio, Liam Fraser, Wotherspoon. I don't know who else I'm missing. I am expecting to see Liam Miller in as well. We know Hoylett's not going to be available. Laren, Davies. I'm assuming Cavallini will probably get the call up along with David, and of course Ugbo now, our newest man. And just going through the other list of players. I think that's pretty much it, who I'm expecting. Joel Waterman would be an interesting one to see if he comes up for an extra center back position or not. I will watch later. Josh just showed up to show some support. Hope you guys win the next 2-3 games to qualify. Cheers, my man. Hope you're doing well. Josh, hope you're doing well. I am doing well, guys. I am doing well. I'm excited. I want the roster to be dropped so I know what I'm talking about later. The CONCACAF Council is meeting again today. We're recording our next episode along with with JD, who's, talking about Jamaica, Pete talking about the US, and Owen talking about Mexico. So kind of need the roster to come out so I can, come along with that. But getting Ugbo is like the Raptors getting Scott Price. It is big, man. It is big. It's a good talent to get playing in a competitive league. It is impressing. Reserve call-up, in my opinion, he's had a lot of amazing season with Montreal. He's versatile and can help Canada a lot. There's a few players on Montreal that I think will be getting looks eventually. I said he's one. Waterman's one as well. There's a few other players that I was coming around. I don't expect him to get called up for this window. And then obviously going into January, I think that would hurt his case even more. But he's definitely a player who's having a good season with Montreal, and I hope Montreal can sneak into the playoffs as well. Good morning, Josh and everyone. Good morning, my man. Good morning. We're all waiting with massive, massive anxiety to see. Because I'm expecting a pretty strong roster, to be honest. And also, we only have two matches this window, which means more than likely it's going to be the strongest side we're going to see for both. David says, hope to see Drake on the roster. I think Drake could wiggle his way in there if he really wants to. But talked to a few Chelsea supporters who have been watching Ugbo since his academy days, and they said he's class. I've heard a lot of good things about him too. From the highlight videos I've watched and from the little bits of research I've been trying to do on him since finding out he's committed, he does look like a really talented back to goal, or well, not a poacher. I think we need a back to goal, someone who's got good hold up play, something that Laren and David don't bring. I was hoping he would be that. I'm told he's not. That's not really his game, but he's a poacher. He's someone who's a good finisher, and if you guys can go on YouTube and find his highlight videos, you guys will see that because he definitely knows how to put the ball in the back of the net. And it's just a nice little added depth to have in that position, especially because after the first few in our striker pool, there is a bit of a dip. And we've seen that with Akindele having to play in the Gold Cup, with Brim getting called up, with no disrespect to those players, but having someone like Ugbo available to us now, if there are injuries or troubles or trying to manage game time with Laren and David, this is another great option. I just personally, from what I've seen so far, I would really like to see him break in a little bit more at Genk right now because he's not getting crazy minutes. Because I think he started 32 games last year and scored 16 goals. So those are impressive numbers last season. And for this season right now, he's only started in 2, played in 9, and scored 2. So obviously using an a bit part role this year, which for national teams you don't love to see. Drake started from the bottom and now he's on the national team. Drake. I watched a video of some girl who said, yeah, Drake's a real town man. I don't want to get into that story; it would bore you, but it was funny. Drake just loves our country, man. He is. He started from the bottom, but he is a beauty. I have to watch the United press conference to see if it's worth watching if McGuire starts. Ugbo is very good. Yash, are you familiar with Ugbo at all? Considering obviously he was from the Chelsea Academy, he's English as well. Let me know, my man. Where do you hear the roster is being dropped today? It is going to be dropped before 11 o'clock. So my anticipation is that we should see it any second. Heard it from numerous sources. If it doesn't, I will feel like a goof. But if we go off of previous ones, there's an announcement today at 11, so it should be dropped before that. So I'm hoping any minute, guys. So just go on, as I'm doing, go on Twitter for Soccer Canada or Canada Soccer, and eventually, I'm assuming the next little bit it'll be released, and we'll share it here on the screen for you guys as well. Cool, love the CONCACAF shows. The CONCACAF Council, baby, it's coming back. It's coming back. I'm excited because Mexico's roster obviously has been dropped. US's has been dropped. I don't know. Does anyone in the chat know if Jamaica's has been dropped as well? I have no idea. No, sorry, JD, I wasn't paying attention. No, I think Jamaica might have been dropped. I don't know. Either way, we'll find out later. Dr. Navid here says Canada should get Erling Haaland and Mbappe Conte to play for them. They should. It'd be a stretch, rules and such, but Uber reminds me a bit of Raheem Sterling. Interesting. Oh, it's been dropped? Has it been dropped? Yes, it's been dropped. I'm missing it. Where is it? I need to share it on the screen. All right, we'll share it on the screen in a sec. Ladies and gentlemen, where are you? I don't see it. Where do you guys see this? I have an interview at 11. Maybe I should skip it. Sounds like big news here. Where are you guys seeing the roster drop? I have not seen it on Twitter. It's usually my number one source. I don't see it anywhere. Oh, I don't know. I don't see it. Yes, it's been dropped. It's dropped. Dr. Negative, where are you looking? Oh, you're talking about Jamaica. Josh. I thought you were talking about Canada. I was like, I missed it? It's dropped? Okay, yes, Jamaica's been dropped. Okay. I got excited for nothing. But hopefully Canada's will be dropped very, very soon. But yeah, whatever. JD can explain to me what Jamaica's roster looks like. I'll find it later. I feel like the more players that commit to join Canada, because soccer is on the rise. It is on the rise, and it's a statement. Getting dual nationals, not only to actually get them through the door, which is massive, but to be a statement to other dual nationals. And one of you guys on the stream yesterday made a great point about Daniel Jebsen and the fact that Ugbo is now committed. So he's made our striker pool even further in the depth. And now Jebsen's probably looking in being like, when am I going to make that decision to commit? Because if I don't get in soon enough, it's going to be even harder to break in. So it's nothing but good things for other dual nationals and also just to strengthen the pool we already have. And I'm really excited to see what Ugo can do. Definitely going to keep a stronger eye on him now. I think he's got a market value around 5.1 million. Dang, I got a job interview at 11. Maybe I should skip it. You skip your job interview for me, my man? I mean, come on. It's beautiful. I don't want to, wreck your opportunities, but it's good. You can always watch it later. Jamaica's roster has been dropped. I thought you said you meant Canada. I got all excited. Ugbo, can anyone explain to me how he qualifies for Canada? Not complaining, think this is great for the Canadian men's national team, but confused. So what we understood is that there was apparently like Canucks Abroad, some of the guys reached out to me and said like, Josh, when we were talking to him a while back, and we were told that he was not eligible, but with the newest FIFA rule change that allowed Tomori to be eligible, it also allowed Ugbo to be eligible. And from my understanding, he was born in England. He moved to Canada from somewhere between the ages of 4 and 5 and stayed in the country till he was about 9. So they thought he was just shy of being eligible, but with the new FIFA rule change, it allowed him to be eligible. So that's why it kind of came out of the blue and there were some contradicting reports, but it's because when they were being reported on the first time, he was not eligible, and then he became eligible. So that is how he came out of absolutely nowhere and fired every single Canadian men's national team fan up yesterday, because it's a huge pickup. It's an exciting talent. It's one of those interesting ones where it's obviously someone who we didn't think would have ever been eligible because we just genuinely didn't think he was. And he took the opportunity, snubbed Nigeria for the Canadian men's national team, so we cannot complain too much. Is Ugbo only a striker? He can also play as a winger. From what I understand, he is mainly just a striker. Last season, he played in a 3-5-2 system a lot, playing as a dual striker, which playing alongside David and Laren could help a lot, but he's been used mostly as a bench player right now. But we will have to we'll have to see. I'm going to keep a closer eye on him now that he's eligible to represent the Canadian men's national team. But from what I understand, he's a poacher. He's a number 9. Not trolling. Let's not get too excited about Ugbo. Let's just see adding a player means dropping one. Who will it be? Not necessarily. I don't think Ugbo, for example, is a starter. I think he's an important depth piece to have, especially in that striker pool that in the last couple windows, like I said, has kind of depleted itself a little bit. But let's be honest, Laren and David are two of the best strikers in CONCACAF. They're very hard strikers to take out of your starting 11. If you're playing with a 2-striker system. If you're not playing with a 2-striker system, Ugbo is not going to take out David or Laren. So really in the striker pecking order, for me, he's 3rd. Let me know if you guys agree. If you were going to place him somewhere in our striker pecking order, where would you put Ugbo right now? For me, he's probably 3rd. I think that's pretty fair, depending where you want to count Hoylett. Hoylett to me can play as in that 2-striker system, but I mean, I don't really see him as a winger anymore because he didn't have that much pace, but I still would put Ugbo up there as well. Jamaica roster is looking nice. Good thing we are not playing them. Did they get any of those dual nationals that they were looking about. Can we push Ugbo as a winger or no? Potentially. I don't know enough about the player yet. From what I understand is he's a number 9. He likes playing as a number 9, and he's played in a 2-striker system. Depending on his game style, if he's pacey, he's fast. I mean, if Besiktas can turn Kyle Larin into a left attacking mid, I'm pretty sure we could probably turn Ugbo there. But for the time being, I'm assuming he's going to be used again as a depth piece in that striker pool of ours. Soccer is definitely in the rise along with basketball. Hockey is becoming a rich man's sport. Equipment for hockey is insanely expensive. Yeah, for someone who played it growing up, it's a lot of money. My parents absolutely were not impressed. But one hockey stick is like 75 on the cheap. Yeah. My hockey sticks growing up were like $300 flat. Bougie, I know. What can I say? And yeah, skates are ridiculous as well. Figure skating skates were ridiculous. Not that I wore them, but my sister did. I'm Croatian and Canadian, very proud. I'm dreaming of having both of them in the World Cup. It'd be very cool, man. It'll be very cool. A lot of you guys will probably have other national teams that you guys support. I have German in my background, but I'm just a very Canadian person. My biggest background does come from Germany, so I do like cheering on the German men's national team, but it's because Canada was never relevant, to be honest. So it is exciting to see what we can do going forward. But yeah, it's pretty cool to hear. Ugbo for Ghent is basically a number 9. He is, man. He is. I don't personally see him as a winger yet as well, but again, I'm not super familiar with his traits. I have not seen him play too much aside of highlights, and in his highlights, he looks like a number 9 to me. Hoylett is overrated. Oh, I wouldn't even say Hoylett's a pace merchant anymore, but man, maybe back in the day. I think he's lost quite a bit of pace. We were watching him in the Gold Cup. And when he was subbed on, Hoylett's pace just compared to Buchanan and Davies, maybe that's just not fair to compare it to, but I feel like Hoylett's lost a good step in his pace. Jamaica has Antonio Bailey, and they have some other usual players, but nothing to just a normal roster. Do you have Instagram as well, or just Twitter? I do. If you guys want to follow us on Instagram or Twitter, if you ever want to message us about questions, anything like that, and just like that, Bobby, just follow us on Instagram. Bobby figured it out. I like it. If you guys have any feedback, any way you want to get a touch of us, you can do it over Twitter or over Instagram. Ideas for content, questions, we get messaged quite a bit. It's almost approaching 11 o'clock and the roster still has not been dropped. Very surprised. We'll have to hold on. Yash has also followed us on Instagram. A few of you guys have followed us on Instagram. I like it. And Yash is liking away. I like it. I'm Canadian. I root for Canada first. My background is English, Irish, and Dutch. So I root for those teams as well, unless they're playing Canada. That's fair. Like I said, I mean, supporting the Canadian national team growing up was an interesting quest just because there wasn't, a ton of success. So it's pretty cool to see us turn it around and look like we're definitely on the rise and seeing some of the talent we're going to have. But the latest window, in my opinion, is going to be one of the most important ones. That Costa Rica match is going to be do or die. It's a situation that can stretch us and get us closer to that 3rd and push Costa Rica further away into that 5th. Who will win the battle for Marcelo Flores? Mexico, Canada. If I had to put money on it, honestly, I would put Mexico. But who knows? Let me know what you guys think, guys. Put it in percentage. Put a percentage. What is the percentage that Canada gets Marcelo Flores? Because for me, I'd say probably like 20%. I just feel like his ties to Mexico are greater than Canada. But I don't know. I haven't talked to the player. I haven't talked to anyone representing him. So I really don't know just from what I've read. But he seems like someone like Diaz, for example, is for me someone more realistic. Jebsen as well is more realistic. I just don't think that we can pull Marcelo off, even though he'd be very important, man. A position that we do need. So I'd say center backs. I mean, I think our winger pool is pretty solid right now, especially with Davies, who to me is going to be playing as a winger Liam Miller, who's in unbelievable form, guys. If you guys have not chosen a Swiss side yet, it has to be FC Basel. It has to be, because our boy is killing it out there, playing good, solid minutes as well. Scored a banger last night as well. Yash has 20%. Doctor negative. Watch it be out at 10:59. Yeah, unless I'm mistaken or misinformed, it needs to be out before 11. So we have 10 minutes before the roster should be dropped. Otherwise, maybe something happened and they decided against it. But it should be out. It should be out anytime now, guys. I was going to wait, but I just decided to go live because I was sitting here anyways and just said, well, we'll have a nice conversation in the meantime with some of our fellow Canucks out there. He should join Canada. He'll be better for the next 10 to 15 years. Again, it's going to depend on each player. Dual nationals are a very interesting topic because depending on what your connection is, your family connection, your ties to a specific country, I think that should be one of the first things taking into consideration. But if all things are equal, then it comes down to playing time. And that's where Canada could give some of these younger dual nationals, specifically looking at Daniel Jepson, for example. Let's be honest, he probably will never feature for England. I'm assuming at some point he's going to accept to play for Canada. I am, but that is an interesting thing. And dual nationals are a pretty cool one. And we just found a very unique situation last night when Ugbo came out of absolute left field and said, oh, by the way, I'm Canadian, which we're not going to complain about. Canada should go all out to beat Costa Rica. A win against them will secure top 3 for Canada. I went to the game when Canada won 4-1 versus Panama, and Canada plays a great, attractive football. They should. My goal for the window, honestly, I think a fair goal would be 4 points. I don't want to walk into, but I mean, a few people reaching out to me, Josh, we need to take 6. We need a perfect window, and the mentality is beautiful. I absolutely love it, and we realistically could take 6, but I would be over the moon with 4. But the main thing for me is to beat the teams that are competing with us for that 3rd and 4th spot. Costa Rica is absolutely one of them. We take 3 points from them. That pushes them further away from us and puts Canada in an unbelievable situation. And considering we're at home, going to Edmonton, it has to be done. The weather here in Edmonton is supposed to be freezing rain for Friday night. I don't think Costa Rica is going to like that. Damn, man. Any of you guys going to the game? Any of you guys going to Mexico? Would be pretty cool, man. Expect it's going to apparently piss down cold rain on you guys, so hopefully you'll be all right. It's all right. We're Canadians. We get it. Brady says 30% that we could get Flores. You already know I'm watching both games on One Soccer with a beer and green on deck. Davies is too much for these CONCACAF defenders. Baby, I like it. One Soccer, man. So where I'll be watching as well, probably doing a watch along with you guys here to cheer on the boys. I think we will only get a 23-man roster since it's 2 home games. That's a good question. I would be more comfortable bringing 25 because, why not? If you have them available to you, I would go a little bit over, except exactly 23. But who knows? I mean, we are home, so yeah, I don't know. It's a good question. I would take 25. I don't think you can go wrong with that, but let me know what you guys would do if you would prefer a 23-man roster. If you would go a little bit higher, I'd go a little bit more for that 25. Should Davies, Buchanan, Lair, and David all play at the same time, considering there's not much roster rotation for the 2 games? It's a great point, because usually when I personally don't think I don't think David and Laren have hit the ground running playing as a dual striker tandem. So having the 3-game window was kind of nice, separating them up a little bit. But in my opinion, I don't know, because it's tough. I like the 4-2-3-1 system, because if you did play in a 4-2-3-1, for example, you could have Borjan and net, Alistair John, or I'd probably go Larrea at right back, Miller and Vittoria your 2 center backs, Atakubi left back, Eustachio, Hutch ideally as your 2 CDMs, probably Zorio as your cam, Buchanan, Davies, and then David up front. But if you did a 3-4-3, which again is my other favored system, it would have Davies, Buchanan as your 2 wingers up front with 1 striker. It's hard for me to play them all. The only realistic one where I could see them play, which is a system I don't necessarily like, is that 4-4-2, where you'd have Davies at left mid, Buchanan right mid, Hutch and Eustachio as your 2 center mids, and then Laren and David up front. It looks nice on paper. I just don't know if it's going to have the balance. And I don't know. I don't like that 4-4-2 system. I think the 4-2-3-1 looked good. I thought it was very balanced. And I think our back threes we can't go wrong with. If you go I guess you could play them. If you go 3-5-2, a 3-5-2 could work. You have Buchanan and you have Davies at left and right wing back, and then you have David Larin as your two strikers. I miss Larea's overlapping runs, though, the support for the wingers. I don't know. It's a tricky question. Let me know what you guys would do. Would you start all four in the same roster? Because I just find that... Oh, there it is. It's about time. It's about time. Enough talking, Josh. You're boring everyone here. Let's share the screen. Let's get the rosters up, guys, and take a look at the Canadian men's national team roster because it's here. It's about time. It's about time. Let's take a look at the team, ladies and gentlemen. So, Samuel Adekubi, I'll just go through the list just as you see it on screen here. And yeah, we'll just take a look. So, Sam Adekubi, obvious. I mean, having a fantastic season in Turkey right now. He's obviously going to be in the squad. Borjan's back in, which is good to see. I personally think that he's going to be starting both matches. Tajon Buchanan, we're just going to toss a nice little like and a retweet. Tajon Buchanan's in there. Lucas Cavallini, who you guys know my opinion on. I like Cavallini, but I don't know, man. I just don't think that his form necessarily means that he's in there. But again, the striker pool is what it is. So, I mean, Cavallini's in there. He always performs the Canadian men's national team, so we can't complain too much about it. Derek Cornelius is back in, which is, I like to see. I think Derek's been good. I thought he was good in the last window as well. Crepeau, David, Alphonso Davies, all obvious choices. Eustachio's in there. Henry's in there. Atiba Hutchinson's in, which is great to see. He's one match away from tying to Guzman, and he's 2 away from breaking the record for the most appearances ever for the Canadian men's national team. So if he appears in both, he'll be making history this upcoming window. Alistair Johnson's in there, Mark Anthony Kay, Kyle Larin, Richie Larea, Liam Miller, my boy, Kamal Miller, Jonathan Osorio, James Pantemis, who is the third keeper, with Piet, Watherspoon, Victoria, and our new boy Ugbo as well. So that's 23, right? Can I count properly? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 23. Good counting, Josh. All right, guys, that's it. We did go with a 23-man roster, and it was pretty much exactly what I was picturing. Let me know if there's any surprises for you guys. Am I missing something? I don't think there's any surprises. The 3 keepers, Borjan, Crepeau, Pantemis. That's exactly what I was anticipating. You have your options for 2 right backs with Larea, Alistair Johnston, 4 center backs, Victoria, Henry, who are your central center backs, and then alongside them you have Cornelius and Kamal Miller, 2 technical left backs when you want to count Adekubi with Davies. You have your midfields of Hutch, you have Kay, Osorio, and Eustachio. Am I missing one? And I guess David Watherspoon can play in there. He's more of an attacking midfielder. Schaffelberg, so that's one who was left out. I thought Schaffelberg, that's a little hard done by, but we have our wingers who, it'll be Buchanan. We know Davies will play up there. We have Liam Miller. Do we have another winger? Am I missing someone? No, we don't have a massive amount of wingers. And then we have 4 strikers, Cavallini, Ugbo. So I guess the one change I potentially would have done would have been leaving out Cavallini and bringing in Schaffelberg. That's personal for me. But I didn't expect it. I feel like this would happen. But let's go into the comments, guys, and see what you guys are saying as well from your guys' initial reaction. It's pretty much what we expected, guys. It's not a massive surprise. The only little thing I would have done different would have been to drop Cavallini, because I don't think Cavallini will necessarily touch the pitch. Or Schaffelberg could have potentially been useful, but that does not matter, guys. But yeah, if you guys are excited that the roster has been released just before 11 o'clock, be sure to smash the like button. If you guys are new to the channel, be sure to drop a sub as well. And yeah, we'll get into the chat now. Big shout out to JD, who we're going to be talking with a little bit later on the council. How is Cavallini still on the team? So yeah, that was the one big takeaway. It's not a surprise. Like, I'm not surprised whatsoever that Cavallini is there. I would have personally went for a winger, but knowing the tendency that we sometimes play with 2 striker systems, it does make sense to bring 4 strikers. And if we would have took a 24-man squad and brought an extra winger, or even like ZVG or someone like that, like, because you can push Larea up, I would have liked that a little bit more, but I don't think all in all with 2 matches, it's that big of a deal. All the big names are there. They are the only player that is not there that's usually there is Hoylett, which he's injured. So 23-man roster, and Cavallini will do well against Mexico. He's physical, and we need that. Ted? Are you expecting Cavallini to come off the bench for Mexico? Because I'm not expecting him to start. And like I said, now with Ugbo on there, Cavallini is my 4th tier striker on this list. So I mean, I do kind of expect him to feature maybe at one point, but I'd expect him to maybe come on in the 75th minute, maybe something like that, maybe one or both matches. What happened to Arfield? A lot of different things happened with Arfield. Again, if my opinion is if we don't see Scotty recalled in January, we probably will never see him again. Ubo is there. He is, man. He is out of left field. Roster is what I expected. I am as well. I'm as well. White is tuned in. Our legend member on the channel. How you doing, my man? Hope you're doing good. Ubo was a surprise for all of us. A pleasant surprise. It was. The surprise was yesterday, though. The surprise was yesterday. But yeah, I mean, fantastic. But I'm expecting we get to see him a little bit as well at some point. I am sure Hoylett and Schaffelberg is the alternate. I believe Hoylett is injured. He's not been appearing for Reading for the last little bit yet, so I think he's got a knock, which made sense why he wasn't in here as well. Speaking of dual national, did you hear about the 15-year-old who's called up by Romania? Yeah, we have a little battle going on with Romania. I heard that, yeah, he's getting the call up already. They probably took note at what happened with Theo and didn't want to take that risk again, which sucks. But I mean, again, when Wheeler was going out there with that tweet about who the potential dual national was going to be, a lot of different names came out, and he was one that came out. There's an Israel one, Solomon, I believe, came out as well. So there are still a good chunk of dual nationals that are out there. And honestly, Canada should try to win every single one. They should. That is what they should do. Anytime we lose a dual national is a loss. It absolutely is. So if Romania beats us to the punch, then crap. Because I mean, honestly, in my opinion, Canada should be a little bit more appealing to a player than Romania, because we have a much better chance at going to a World Cup, especially because we're guaranteed one, where Romania absolutely is not. They have a tough task qualifying. Why the hate for Cavallini? He scores for Canada. It's true. It's true. Cavallini's got an unbelievable goal-scoring record for Canada, but times have changed a little bit. When he was getting a lot of those goals, he was playing up front with Jonathan David. They were a beautiful little duo up front, but I mean, we've seen him in bit part. I mean, he did score that hat trick against the Cayman Islands in that 11-0 one, but let's be honest, it was 11-0. He came off the bench. It's the Cayman Islands. I don't think Cavallini is going to give that impact anymore for the Cayman's national team. He's absolutely not doing it at club level. I love watching Brian White, man. If Cavallini was playing like Brian White, I'd arguably consider wanting him to start, but he just hasn't been able to do that. So I think there's a little bit of hate for Cavallini just because he's not doing it whatsoever at club level, and he's probably only ever going to be used at bit part roles for the Cayman's national team. But like you said, Ted, he does have history with the Cayman's national team, and he does do relatively well. So it is what it is. I expected him there, but I don't expect him to be a massive player for this upcoming window. My starting 11 in goal is Borjan. So you're going with the back three. Outside right center back Johnston, Vittoria, Miller. Your two center mids, Eustachio, K, Azorio, Hutch. Confuse me with your foursome there. So you're going three. I'm confused. Three. Unless you're doing a 3-5-1-1. Having like your wing backs with Davies and Buchanan. I don't know if we'll ever see four midfielders on the pitch. I don't know if we'll ever see Eustachio, K, Azorio, and Hutch all start. I feel like if you replace one of them with like Larea, for example, you could have done that back three, have Larea, Davies as your wing backs with Hutch, Azorio, Eustachio through the middle, and then David layering up front. Oh, you don't have David in there. Confuse me, my man. Stoke for the 12th. Go Canada. Yes, Cavallini off the bench last 30. Yeah, it's what we expect. Lucas might be with the Voyagers outside the stadium. You could be right, man. You could be right. Arfield is done. Junior has a hamstring injury picked up in the last window of warm-up in the second game. He's not even on the bench. No, he has not been appearing for Reading whatsoever, not even on the bench. So I was not assuming. I'm assuming our boy Azorio will be rocking the number 10. I don't know if you guys care about stuff like that, but I mean, I do. I could have scored 3 goals against the Cayman Island. Can Tomori still switch? Didn't get called up for England. Okay. With the new rules from Tomori, what I understand is that you cannot get called up unless you don't play for the team for 3 years. So Tomori, I guess, technically is still eligible, but he's not going to play for Canada. I'm assuming at some point England will probably still call him up. And it's 3 appearances, or 3 years from your last appearance. So he just got an appearance a month ago. So 3 years later is when he'd be eligible for Canada again. But I think we need to accept that Tomori is gone. Is gone, man. What a rude roster from Tactical Manager TV. Filippo, how you doing, my man? How you doing? It's a bit of a rude roster. It's a bit of a rude roster. We got our new lad in there, Ugbo, which we're all very excited about. Stefan did not know you got called up for the Canadian national team. No Davies. Davies is in there. There's some interception on Herman's comments about the flight and the squad when he arrived in the Cayman national team, and some of them blamed Arfield. Yeah, there's a whole big background around the Arfield, and that's why I'm not. There's the rumors of like the little Scottish connection in there. I personally don't think we're gonna ever see Scotty again. I don't. Tactical, will you review Canada's national team? The Rude Americans. There you are. I remember IMAX and manager doing a watch along thinking Suriname can beat Canada. How the things have changed. Good vibe. JD, we're taking shots at Suriname here. Taking shot at the overhyped Suriname squad. Doing good. No such thing as a rude American. Okay. What are your expectations for the windows for Canada? My expectations is 4 points. I think we absolutely 100% need to win against Costa Rica. Costa Rica has to be an absolute win for me. A point against Mexico is a huge W in my opinion. But let me know what you guys think. Because, I mean, I love when you guys are messaging me and saying, Josh, 6 points is a must. I love it. That's a mentality this nation needs to get going forward. And I think that's the mentality that Herman is trying to put on these players. They want 6. They took a point from the Azteca. There's no reason to think that we can't take 3 at home. I'm just saying, if you told me we're going to get a point against Mexico and 3 against Costa Rica, that's a W. That puts us in an unbelievable position for qualifying. Surprised that there's no Liam Fraser, but I feel it's because he's always on the roster. That's actually a good shout. I didn't even think of that. Liam Fraser has been getting some decent minutes for the crew. I'm a fan of Liam Fraser. I thought when he plays for the national team, again, in bit part roles, but I think he's pretty good. I'm assuming if he was to be included, it would have been for David Wotherspoon. Or I guess maybe Samuel Piet. I don't know. That's tough because both of them. Yeah, that's tough. That's a tough one. It's a little bit of a surprise, I guess. But again, you would have to drop one of Piet or Wotherspoon, and I think both of them are deservedly high, a little higher than Liam Fraser. But yeah, I think Fraser is doing good things with the crew, and they have a playoff spot to worry about, which you probably won't get. Kelly is tuning in and says, "Sup, brothers and sisters." Kelly, what are your thoughts on the roster? I think the general consensus is par for the course. It's what we expected. Why does Mexico versus US not have the same time? Have to be at the same time as Canada? Didn't even realize it was at the same time. Yeah. Filippo and I have been complaining about that for a while because we want to watch all of the matches and half of them are at the same time, which is ridiculous. But that sucks. The Mexico-US game is at the exact same time as the Canada game. That sucks because I would have loved to watch that Mexico game as well. Ted says 4 points minimum, but I think 6 is possible. And I agree with that, man. I agree with that 100%. 6 points, nothing less. That's the mentality factor, baby. That's the mentality factor we like. Mexico at home in the cold, we should beat them, right? Considering that we stole one on the road. Again, I don't want to take anything away from Mexico. I think Mexico is still a good enough squad where, I mean, if we show up and play a perfect match, we can take 3 points from them 100%. But they are still Mexico. We have to respect them, but we have to go at them the way that we did. We didn't really show them that respect when we took them on at the Azteca. We took the match to them, and to our benefit, I thought we're the better side and got away with a point. I'm curious to see what the game plan will be with Herman, but it is still the Mexican side. They are still a good side. I would love to take 3, but I'd be happy with a point. So I'm the guy with the mentality issue, apparently. 4 is a realistic, but our national team has the belief they can get 6, and you're spot on, and they absolutely do. Kelly says 4 points is an absolute must, and 6 is achievable. Yeah, okay. I think the consensus is pretty right. 4 is the goal. It's a must in a way. The win over Costa Rica is a must. That's the must. And then getting something from Mexico is the bonus for me. I agree, 4 points the minimum, but I want 6. Look at this mentality, man. Got a bunch of fired up Canadians here. I think that we're going to see some big players get some minutes, so no extra players this window. And that's apparently what we are seeing. Like you are right. We have a 23-man roster. I thought that's a little light, but we are home for both, so it is what it is. We could potentially have an 11 with players above 6 foot. Alistair Johnson's above 6 foot? I'm assuming he's starting. I doubt it. 9 points, nothing less. We're just going to get those extra ones on the table. No big deal. Probably doing that to avoid teams purposely tanking games. I expected this roster as well. Can we talk about the logo? Our Canadian men's national team logo is approaching its 50th birthday. New era. The other changes. You want a new Canadian men's national team logo, Kelly? Interesting. I don't know. What do you guys think about our Canadian men's national team logo? Throw in a out of 10. What's your thoughts on it? Because Kelly wants a new one. Approaching 50 years. Pretty cool as well. Whereas Junior, he's out with a injury. Who do you think will get 4th in the octagonal? I think Costa Rica. I think Panama's got a really good... Well, actually, I guess Jamaica's picking up as well. I don't know, man. I don't know. I thought Jamaica was dead and buried. It depends if their manager can figure it out, if they can get the players that are available to them to show up and then to perform. In my eyes, they're still a very unbalanced team, but they have more talent, let's be honest, than Costa Rica and Panama. Panama's the surprise package. Costa Rica just doesn't have the legs. I don't know, man. I think it'd be one of those 3. I don't really know which way to go right now. Rude Canadian. It's me, man. That's me. I think Mexico has a better front line, but their midfield is aging, and I doubt that they'll have the legs. I disagree. I feel like Mexico, I'm not saying that they don't have a tired midfield or an aging midfield, but Edson Alvarez, in my opinion, is one of the best number 6s in CONCACAF. And I think there's no better front line than Canada. Maybe I'm biased, maybe I'm not, but give me Davies, Buchanan, and David. There's not a front 3 I'm taking in front of them, but could be bias. Like what Kelly is saying about the logo needs to be updated. You think it needs to be updated, eh? It's a 9. It's got a good rating. 3rd game away against Honduras. This will be a little scary. It will be. Wouldn't mind a new one. I like the logo. It's a solid 7. How many minutes do you think the new lad will get? I'm not expecting him to start either match, in my opinion, because I don't even know if we're going to start with 2 strikers. And if we do, it's going to be Laren and David. If I had to guess, I'd say he'll get maybe 20 minutes in each match. That would be my guess. I think it'll be a bit part in both matches, but let me know if you disagree. Kelly says, I rate our logo at 7.5. I think we deserve an 8 or a 9. Logo's a 10 out of 10. Don't mess with 50 years of success. Roughest game incoming, Canada away, Costa Rica, and Panama. Yeah, that'll be tough, man. Jamaica has a chance for 4th. We do. And it's a good thing, though. The CONCACAF Council is meeting up today. We're going to break it down. We're going to hear the thoughts on Mexico, Jamaica, Canada, and the U.S. over on Pete's channel. So I needed my roster to be able to do that. If you guys want to check that out, I think it will be fun. Over on 11 Yanks channel. I'm not sure when Pete's going to post it, but we are filming today. And I'm excited to hear some of the other thoughts around the other nations. I think Atiba in the middle for the first time this year against Mexico might play, or might pay dividends, though Herdman might use Crépeau for the familiarity against the opponent. I would be surprised. I'd be very, very surprised if Crépeau starts one of the matches. I think again, this is just my opinion. I think, because I do like Crépeau. I think Crépeau is one of, if not the best keepers in the MLS. He really impressed me with that last match I watched against LAFC. I thought he was such a demanding keeper, very good with his hands. But I think Borjan is our guy. I think he's our leader. I think the keeper position is not one you want to mess with, like the U.S. are doing with Stefan and Matt Turner. I think you want to give your captain, give your skipper, give your leader the role. And I don't think you want to question it. So that's the reason I think Borjan's going to start both matches. But Crepeau is a very, very capable number one as well. And no Schaffelberg. That's the one change. If I had to do one, the one change I would have done would have been Cavallini for Schaffelberg. That's just preference. I think we're going to go with wingers, whether it's a 3-4-3, 4-2-3-1. But I could be wrong. Maybe we go with that 3-5-2 and he wants the 4 strikers. And that tells me we're going to maybe use a 2-striker system, the fact that he went with Cavallini over another winger. Can you tell me who in CONCACAF I have a better front three than Canada? No one. No one has a better one. Like this stream if you haven't, please. Be sure to drop a sub as well if you guys have not done so already. Big shout out to Kelly there, member on the channel. Always be a good keeper. Crepeau is further for Canada in the net. If we win both games, we'd be top of the table. That would be a statement. That would be unbelievable. That would be unbelievable, man, if we won both and top of the table like that. I couldn't have imagined that, to be honest. Like, I think that we were competing and I had confidence that we could qualify, but to top the table would be something else, and it would be a statement. Crepeau is a sleeper pick to move to Europe. I think he deserves it. I do too. The 3 players who I'd like to see move to Europe: Alistair Johnston, Kamal Miller, and Crepeau. Mainly because I think they're all good enough. Specifically, the 2 outside fullbacks, I would like to see them stay in Europe so that they're playing. And I think they're both good enough. I could see, for example, Alistair Johnston going to Scotland or going to the championship level. Kamal Miller, maybe he takes that jump to a Ligue 1 side, just, the French connection. I don't know. But I think they're both good enough. 100% Canada for the first time ever has top front three in CONCACAF. Yeah, and I don't even think it's a debate. Sorry, Mexico. I mean, Chucky Lozano, Corona, and Jimenez is a close second, sort of. But I'd back Canada all day. I think we should start Davies up front, keep the momentum, and Larea can cover at left back. I don't know about that, man. I don't know if I want to see him start as a striker again. I don't. I think I want to see... Again, there's a preference, man, because he obviously worked as a striker, but I feel like that was because it's a third match of the window. They rested his legs a little bit and just allowed him to get the opportunity to run. But honestly, man, I'd go 3-4-3 or 4-2-3-1, which means one of Larin and David are on the bench. Richie Larea to the Turkish league is very realistic, and even maybe the Prem now that we're a top 50 nation. But I think Larea deserves a move, and I think it should have been coming for a while now. Kelly says, I've been a huge Canadian men's national team fan for 40 years, and now I'm a huge JJD TV fan. Shout out to you, Josh, and producer T for bringing this high level commitment keeps us close to the boys. Man, making me blush on camera. I appreciate all the support, Kelly. You guys have been fantastic. It's been really fun to create this Canadian men's national team community here on YouTube. Hopefully a lot of fun things will come as well. But there's a lot to be excited about if you are a Canadian men's national team fan. Kelly's been one for 40 years. And this is probably the happiest he's been, even though I guess you watched the 2000 Gold Cup, but I still don't think that there was the hype and the quality that there is in this squad right now. But I appreciate the kind words, Kelly. It does mean a lot. I think 3 players that can jump is All-Star Johnson, Larea, and Kay. Kay could as well. I think that move to Colorado shook a few of us. Are there any Canadians in the top 2 divisions in Germany other than Alfonso? Scott Kennedy plays in the 2nd division. And there's another one for Ingolstadt. I can't remember the pronunciation. I think it's Elvie. He's a dual national. I think he played for Canada, but he was born in St. Lucia. So there's technically 3 if he's still eligible for Canada. But we're gonna wrap it up there today, guys, because I have to go film our podcast. But we'll give the last one to the member of the channel, Kelly, for just pumping the tires. But we appreciate it. Kelly says 100% happy as I've been. Let's go, Canada, man. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this stream as well. Pretty solid, honestly, pretty solid roster. Nothing to really complain about. Really excited to see what we can bring on November 12th. We'll see you guys here for the watch along. We will have the CONCACAF Council episode going out over on Pete's channel as well to give you guys a little breakdown of the U.S., Jamaica, Mexico, and Canada from myself. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you haven't done so yet, be sure to drop a like on the stream on your way out. Drop a sub as well, and I'll hopefully see you guys for the match preview of the Costa Rica versus Canada match. Take care, friends, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Cheers.